The Pirates, Band of Misfits. Last time we saw Aardman, they released Arthur Christmas, which was all computer animation instead of their usual stop motion. Just to let you know, I really enjoyed that film, but one problem that I have with it is that it doesn't have that classic Aardman look to it that we all know and love. Honestly, I think they just look butt ugly with their tiny eyes. Anyways, fast forwarding a few months later, Aardman returned to tell us that they're not giving up on stop motion just yet with their latest film, The Pirates. So is this a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered? Or will you need a buttload of rum to watch it? Let's find out. The story. There's nothing really big about the story here. It's actually simpler than what you'd expect from Aardman. You'd think that with the pirates and all the crazy adventures they're in, it's going to be original. But it turns out to be a case that's similar to How to Train Your Dragon. It's actually a story that we've heard of before, but with a completely different coat of paint that makes it look new. The plot is that they're trying to get the Pirate of the Year award with a message saying that being a great pirate is more than just getting a trophy and yada yada yada. I'm not sure, but I feel like I've heard of this before. I don't know where really, maybe on a TV show or another movie or something, but it's just I can't put my finger on it. Also, when they try to tell us the message, I feel like they would talk down to us and would use some cliches that's already been used in tons of other movies. But does that mean it sucks? Not really, no. The execution of it is actually pretty enjoyable with some funny gags and cool action scenes along the way. The jokes are not really as clever as previous Aardman films since they're more slapstick and stuff, but they can still be funny. The writers may not think as hard as before to tell us the story itself, but it's how they tell us that makes it all worthwhile. And before you guys say anything, I know! The animation. If there's one reason why stop motion isn't dead from the overpopularity of computer animation with pretty 3D effects, it has to be Aardman's classic claymation, and The Pirates does not disappoint. Surprisingly, there are several different styles used to make the film. First, and mainly, is the stop motion animation that's used for the characters and sets. The character animation is really good, looking realistic, but not so much to be considered as the animator's goal. And the sets look so big and well detailed, especially when it's something where the Queen is. The second is computer animation for the water effects and the sky. Some may consider this cheating for stop motion, but I find it excusable, since they are the hardest things to make it look good in that genre of animation. Finally, there are times when the movie cuts to a map with some 2D animation. I'm not sure if it's actually hand-drawn, but I have to say it does look nice by keeping the style of old century maps. I also want to add that there are several fast-paced action scenes that happen, and they are very well made, creative, and really fun to watch. A good example would be the chase scene where the crew is in a bathtub. If there are flaws in the animation, I will say that the character design seems to be a little too simplistic, like it belongs in a kid's TV show, and sometimes the frame rate on the stop motion would speed up for some action scenes, making it look out of place. Other than that though, this is how time and effort in the animation can really pay off in the end. The characters. When people will watch this, the one thing they'll remember the most about it is the characters. They are over the top, yet very amusing at the same time. Actually, it's interesting to point out that the more memorable ones are the side characters more than the main ones. Sure, the pirate captain is a likable and funny character, but he doesn't have that weird charm that his crew and rivals have, like the butt-ugly animals in Rango. Some good examples are the albino pirate, Cutlass Liz, the one with all the wooden arms and legs, the surprisingly curvaceous pirate whose ancestors are arguing about her now,
Your great-granddaughter had to be a cross-dresser!
And how can you not like a character named the pirate who liked sunsets and kittens? Surprisingly, there's also Charles Darwin in the movie as a pretty important character. And yes, it's that Darwin, who I think makes the movie pretty interesting, and he's kind of funny as the geek who can't get a girl. And I think Christians will be very happy to know that he's more of a villain in this film. But the main antagonist of the movie is Queen Victoria. And yes, that Queen Victoria. She starts out as more of the man type of villain, but once you learn about her true goals, she's an insane and mad type of villain, making her not only great, but the kind you just love to hate. And I think that sums up the characters. Am I missing anyone?
Monkey!
Oh yeah, the man-pan-sea! Darwin has a monkey butler who uses these cards to talk, and how the filmmakers use those cards are quite clever and really hilarious. The characters are not only the humor, but there are also the charm and what will satisfy the audience when they see the film. The Pirates is pretty much Pirates in the Caribbean for kids. It may not be as good as Armin's past films, but it's still really enjoyable with good humor, great use of animation, and characters that are over the top and lovable. Speaking of Pirates in the Caribbean, it actually feels refreshing seeing a pirate film that doesn't have any signs of Jack Sparrow. Don't get me wrong, I love the ride in the first film, and the second one's okay, but nowadays, it's just I like to see something where I don't ask where did we go from this to this.
Zombies, cutthroats, mermaids, and the vicious and vivacious Penelope Cruz. Which is why I'm not going.
Sure.
Possible to find the place anyway.